Howdy, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Card Blitz. I'm your host, Kelly Reed, joined by my good buddy out east, Patrick Marshall.
How's it
Patrick,
going, guys? How you doing?
good, man. So what's new with y'all?
Oh man, just we had a little scare of a storm this morning. School got canceled, but it just happened to be like I don't know, like any storm that happens on a Tuesday in Dallas. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah,
So
the one in Dallas yesterday was pretty big, man. Apparently
yeah,
it's like tornado level and 70 mile per hour winds. So yeah, there's some damage, dude.
yeah. Charlotte was very concerned about what may have happened in the past, and they were freaking out. But a little bit of hail, some wind. Let's put it this way: I went to work at noon because I had the kids. But anyways, that's fine.
So was life, man.
Yeah, you get through it. What are you gonna do? So,
Well, much like life, we get to celebrate another life today, that of the Playmaker. It's his birthday.
woo! I mean, as you love him, you hate him, you respect him because of what he did. I mean that's all you can say about Michael Irvin. It's got to be
Definitely.
Michael Irvin, right?
Oh yeah, Michael Irvin. Look,
Yeah.
here's this 1989 Pro Set card. This is like my favorite Michael Irvin card, and you know what? On eBay, they're still going for $2, just like in
Really?
1992. Dude, yeah, yeah,
That's
maybe
pretty
three
impressive.
bucks. They're not too expensive. They're very affordable, but I really like the layout, the design of this card, that whole set. I mean, they got some beautiful cards, man.
You know, I was gonna show the same card. I'm not gonna show the same card, but I will tell a story about Michael Irvin if you're
Oh, yeah?
ready.
You
So
pulled the same card?
yeah, I
That's
pulled the
greatness,
exact same
man.
card. I didn't tell you that earlier, but I'm like going, okay, well, I'm not gonna do that again. So
Well,
we're not
yeah.
gonna show the same one. But you know, I mean, because back in the day, that 89 Pro set was at Target, was at Walmart. It was hot. I mean, you could buy the whole box for like 15 bucks. And you would pull the cards out, you get three Barry Sanders, two Michael Irvins, two Troy Aikmans. I mean, it was a great set. We had no idea that there was 7.85 billion cards of them made, but you know, that's okay. It was so cool to pull those cards. I mean,
Hence the $2, maybe a $3 value. And
it was awesome. I mean, you pull them in. I have nine Barry Sanders 89 Pro sets. Now, I'm the average collector. So let's just say that, I don't know, 80% of our viewers are watching this and recording it, and they have at least seven or eight. That's a lot of Barry Sanders. I
oh
mean,
yeah.
that's a lot of 89 Pro sets.
I mean, I just wonder if there were dealers back in the day that had have like stacks of 25, 50, 100.
God, I mean,
A lot of
oh yeah, yeah, a
Barry
lot of
Sanders or Michael Irvin or Aikman back then. I mean, they were hot, man. Back in the early 90s, those
uh,
were in late 80s, those were great cards to have.
it's almost to a point where I wish I would have had a Michael Irvin card in my wallet because would go to Buffalo Wild Wings off Beltline, you know, and off the tollway and Beltline in
Yeah.
Dallas, and we're watching UFC, just hanging out, and I hear this voice. Oh, someone be. I go, who's that? My buddies are like, we're getting ready to watch a big fight. It's Chuck, you know, it's Iceman,
Chuck
Chuck
Liddell?
Liddell. We're like, who's here? We look over, it's Michael Irvin. He's sitting right next to us, and he was the coolest dude you could ever imagine. He just wanted to be one of the guys. People were trying to come up to him. He's like, no, 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 no. And you can see that he was just kind of blanching him off. Had a buddy with him. And I'm like, God, if I could just run home real quick and get my 89 Pro set Michael Irvin card, he could sign it real fast. But I had him sign a napkin for me, which was kind of I mean, I didn't really want to do that. It's kind of a weird move. But he was a super cool guy. So I had a Michael Irvin story about that, and I mean, I was just impressed at how genuine he was around people.
Hmm.
People were coming up to him. Some people had no idea who he was, even though they grew up in Dallas. I'm like, I'm not sure how that happens if you don't know who number 88 is in Dallas. And I mean, you have parents that lived here, and you grew up, and I'm like, I have no idea, but it's okay. It's besides the point.
Well, I think folks get in a frenzy though, man. Like, because they start seeing people like gravitate towards an area, and then they're like, "Hey, who's that? Who's that? What's going
But
on? Who's that?
he
Oh,
was
oh,
very
that's
cool,
Dallas
Kelly,
Cowboys."
about Kelly. He was very cool about like not attracting attention. You know, Michael Irvin's a cool guy. He sits back, but
Yeah,
if you get him started on something, he will talk. But I think in public he doesn't do that. He's kind of calm about that.
right. But what I'm saying though is, we naturally it's a behavior mechanism. It's like we all want to
Yeah,
be a part of something. So when everyone starts like gophering and prairie dogging, going, "Hey, hey, who is that? What is that Dallas Cowboy? Who is it?" They all want to be a part of the action, man.
it's a good statement. Prairie dogging was a good because I almost felt protected about my area. I'm like, I can't let anybody in here who doesn't know who he is. It's almost like it's a defense mechanism. I mean, I'm not Michael Irvin's best buddy, but I respect the guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Mike,
So,
look, if you're at home watching this one day, man, you're always welcome onto CardBlitz. Let's talk about
dude,
three Super Bowl wins, another
absolutely.
national title that you got with at the U with the Hurricanes in Miami back in the day. Uh, Michael, happy 59th birthday, dude.
And I would recommend anyone to watch the 30 on 30 of that or that show on ESPN about their national championship. I don't care if you liked them or hated them. Excellent entertainment.
Well, yeah, definitely, man. I was gonna say, my Longhorns ran into them in '91 in the Cotton Bowl, and dude, remnants
I
of the greatness of that dynasty, and they destroyed my Longhorns
Yeah, dude,
at
I
the
remember
Cotton Bowl
that.
that day.
I
It
remember
was
that.
embarrassing, man. Um, well, moving on, man. Let's do a little show and tell, man. Let's talk about some cards.
Okay, Kelly. Okay, this card's kind of this card has special meaning to me. So long time ago, maybe like 80, actually Michael Irvin time when he came out of college, 88, 89. I used to go around and do trades with other kids, find out if their older brothers or uncles had trading cards, and came across this guy.
Dude,
I
Nick.
made a big deal, but I mean, what's good about this card is I've had this card for wow, like 35 years now. I
Hmm.
made a trade for it, traded some good cards for it, gave some cash up, but I also sold this card a couple of years ago to a friend of mine. His dad loved Mickey Mantle. And then one day his dad said, like about 2 weeks ago, he goes, I'm just not into my cards anymore. Why don't you just sell that back to Patrick for what I paid for it? And I got a chance to get my card back, which is very unique. So I thought about sharing this card a couple weeks ago, but I'm like, it has relevance like this week. So I don't know. It's one of those things you have a card in your collection, which we'll talk about later, Kelly, about staying focused at card shows, what drives your collecting. This card was one of my original cards. I got it back. I'm never gonna leave it again. So it's kind of cool.
That's
At
the key.
58 tops, Mickey Mantle.
Hey, it's a sweet card, and I love
Yeah.
the color on it, man. It stands out, and that's one of his most popular cards too.
For me, it's awesome. I love it. It's a little bit off centered, but dude, the color, the graphics
Hmm.
are cool. And here's the cool thing about it: if guys can see the back of it, they only played the teams in the AL that they were in the division with, and it shows him just destroying certain teams, like batting 460, 470, hitting 7 home runs, 20 RBIs in
Right?
like 75 at bats. Okay, imagine if you're playing on the road. Oh, who are we playing? We're playing the Yankees. Where? We're playing at Yankee Stadium against Mickey Mantle. Oh, so every third pitch he hits for a home run. Great. I can't wait to play him.
Opposing
I
pitcher
mean,
might not have.
he was that dominating. It was amazing. I mean,
Oh, Steph.
anyway, that's my first card. It's kind of a roundabout old school card. I mean, surprise people, but I mean, I saw it earlier and I have to talk about it. It's kind of
Going through
cool.
your collection, you found it, and you're like, man, this one's
It's
deep.
never leaving my collection again. I can't believe I let it happen one time. Not going to happen again. What about you, Kelly?
Well, I've been doing a lot of trading, and so
Nice.
I told you I was working on that 2001 Topps Heritage set, and so it looks a lot like the 53 Tops, but they have this insert called New Age Performers,
Okay.
and
Yeah, I'm
it's
not
a
familiar
50
with that
card
too much.
insert. And so I saw a guy on Facebook, and he's like, "Hey, he was trying to move some, I guess, his dupes. His name's John Whitson." And I reached out to John. I said, "Hey, man, I'm working on this insert set. Do you have any?" And he goes, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna hook you up with two of the cards that you need."
Nice, dude.
So John, if you're
Good
watching,
job, John.
dude, you hooked me up, man. You got me a Randy Johnson and a Nomar Garcia Parra.
Yeah, let me check those out. Cool, man.
Definitely, man. And so now I'm just like 6 cards away from the 15 card insert set, and yeah, I don't. And then once that's done, I am done with 2001 Topps Heritage.
Well, let me ask you this, Kelly. So, was that insert set randomly inserted into hobby boxes or
Uh,
packs, or was that something that you had to get outside of the
no,
normal
no, no. It
retail?
was in boxes and packs,
Oh,
randoms.
it was okay.
Yeah, it's probably I don't know, maybe one per 12 packs or something. I'd have to. It
Oh, I
wasn't.
see.
They were common, but they weren't super common back then.
So, do people like legitimately say the 2001 top set has to have that insert in it to make it a complete set?
No, no, no,
Okay.
no. That's just
Okay.
the master set would have like all the red backs and black backs from cards 1 to 80. And then yeah, you would have all those inserts and parallels. That's
Okay.
not my mission, man. My mission is, I got the basic set put together, all 407 cards, and then I've got a couple of the other inserts. This is the third insert set I'm putting together from that series, and then I'm done.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'll feel complete and like circle done,
Okay.
finished.
That's pretty cool. I had no idea, so that's why I asked. I'm like,
Oh
I
yeah.
think a lot of our viewers have. I mean, if they're younger, they have. I mean, that's kind of cool how that kind of stuff
Well, that's
develops.
one of those first kind of you're talking about modern players on retro designed cards. That's
Correct.
one of those sets that I felt like kind of did that, by taking that 53 tops look.
It got that little fire in you a little bit.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah, I like that.
Or 52, sorry, 52 tops, my bad.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
one is
yeah.
52
The
tops, and
52
then
horizontal. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yep.
and then the 53 I think was in the O2 set. The other thing I've been working on this 94 Bowman set. And
Okay,
so I traded another guy named Jason. I'm not gonna tell you his last name. He's like, keep quiet on that. But Jason,
sure, man.
he sent me 5 of these Bowman cards, so I can go
Nice,
the
Jason. Well
set.
done.
Thank you, Jason, for the hookup here. Uh,
Sweet.
I'm 12 cards shy, man, of completing this set, and that
Uh,
no, well, like you said, we'll talk more about sets and stuff. But
Well, how many cards is that, Kelly? How many cards is that set?
I believe that card set is going to be closer to like 530.
So
Maybe
he sent you
540
five
cards.
in one shot. Nice,
Yeah, 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 dude. And now I'm down to two.
Jason. Good job, buddy.
So yeah, definitely appreciate it, Jason and John. Certainly, Topps New Age performers. Appreciate the hookup, man.
That's cool.
Um, yeah, so like I said, I've been doing a lot of trading, and so but my understanding is you talked last episode. You got some top series one packs at a card show, and apparently I was off. I read my credit card receipt wrong. I paid 540 per pack. So I paid 1080 here in Dallas for my 2 packs. You paid a little bit more. You said at your card show. Um, Tell me more about like that experience you
Yeah,
had.
I'm glad we're talking about this. So, I went to the show, and it was one of the largest shows in Charlotte, and it was. I mean, I'm telling you, the convention center here was packed, and
Hmm.
it cost $10 a car to park, $7 a person to get in. That parking lot for 2 days was completely packed. I would say,
What time were the show hours? Do you remember?
I mean,
Like
300.
on that Saturday,
Yeah, Saturday was 9 to 4,
nine to
and
four.
then Sunday was 10 to 4, I think, something like that. So, but what I was impressed about was obviously a lot of people went, a lot of cars were there. They were making tons of money at the entrance. But let's talk about when we got in there. So, I mean, I'm so surprised at how popular Pokemon is, and some of these other, not so much Dragon Ball Z, but Pokemon was about a third of the show,
Hmm.
which to me blew me away. And I walked around looking for, I'm the kind of guy. If you have a 2 for $1 box or a dollar card box, I'm that guy's going to sit
Hey,
down and like,
you're the dollar bin guy.
I'm firing through. I'm like, can I get a Kirby Puckett $5 rookie for $1? Yes, my boys. I'm looking
So
through.
yeah, you're looking for certain cards, or you're like, oh, that stands out. That's different.
I'm trying to find a 77 Robin Yount for $2. I mean, like, I'm that guy that looking for like excellent to near mint to mint cards of kind of like I call them semi vintage, not this is vintage, 58 to me, but like 77s, something like that. I mean, like I'm looking for that kind of stuff.
Well,
And
in
I
theory,
was
though,
really
Patrick,
impressed.
I was gonna say in theory though, isn't vintage like 1980 and
It
prior
is.
before you had like the big three come out in 81?
Yeah, it is. But I mean, I'm just a little bit, I mean, about old school where I look at different cards. If I can find something that's older than that and it's a good deal, I'm probably going to buy it.
So
Even though I
mid
may have,
70s and earlier, you're like,
yeah,
hey, that's
I,
definitely vintage. Late 70s, like, yeah, it's kind of cool, kind of vintage, our age group. So
yeah,
you're probably,
I mean, I may buy a 75 Thurman Munson for $2 if I can find it. I
yeah,
mean,
good luck.
I mean, I'm all over it. I mean, I think it's cool. Yeah, I may have two of them, but I mean, I think it's great. But I was really impressed at the volume of people that were talking, communicating. I've seen card shows where the young kids come up. They got the graded cards. No, they're the newer cards. Great. They're PSA. There was a lot of that going on. Deals were being made, but a lot of older guys, like 40s, 50s, were 60s and are walking around and just talking about cards. And there's so much interest in the industry right now. I mean, I walked away going, there's nothing wrong with collectibles right now. It is very solid, and it made me feel good. Even though I bought 2 packs, and I bought. I'm going to show you a card in a moment, but we'll get to that in a moment about how I strayed off my path,
Okay.
which will be another subject. But I was really impressed with the volume of people that were talking about cards, rifling through boxes of dollar cards, the new cards. I mean, even soccer cards, wrestling cards. I mean, the whole idea of the collectible nation, it was pretty solid, Kelly. It was fun. I like seeing that. I like stepping back and watching that, going, wow, there's a lot of energy in here. People
Mm.
are throwing down money left and right. I was like, this is positive. I walked away with a great feeling. So, how about yourself? I mean, you went to a show recently, right?
Yeah, yeah. This past Saturday, there was one up in Frisco, basically. It was no admission, free parking, and it
Wow.
was and I got there after, my son's soccer game. So I got there mid-afternoon, about 1:30 or 2ish, and it was packed.
Yeah,
And
that's
and the
great.
room was so hot that like just standing there, dude, you're like just going, dude, it is hot, man. It is hot in this place. Can't turn on the fans. It's hot.
This is early March in Dallas, where it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, outside 80 degrees and inside it must have been every bit of 92. It felt like with the sea humanity. Um, but you mentioned the Pokemon thing. That was one thing I did notice too. I felt like half the tables at this show was Pokemon
God,
or some other trading game
Pokemon
stuff.
was hot. It was hot.
It's
I
been
mean,
hot
people
apparently
are
so
going
far.
crazy. $10 a card, $13 a card, $15 a card for. I'm not an expert on that, but I mean, the whole like display was like packed,
Yeah, and I
and
know nothing
cards
about those cards, and they're getting them graded. With was it a CGC,
CGC,
PSA,
CGC, correct.
BGS, like those three card companies, BGS, PSA, and CGC, man, they are like rocking it on graded Pokemon
No,
stuff.
let me ask you this, Kelly.
I
Did
don't
you
know how they
see?
do the pricing and stuff. That's not my world. Not my lane.
Yeah,
But dude,
I saw a
pretty
table
penny.
with like three 35-year-old dudes wearing a pink shirt that said Pokemon something on it, and they had like this announcement, and they were playing like this jam rock and roll music, and kids were all around it. They're like, okay, who's gonna do the blah blah blah? We're spinning the wheel. I'm like, is this a carnival or is this Pokemon? I'm like, this is.
It was
But
an
you know what?
entertaining event for the kids.
It was hot. I mean, there was 19 kids there going a dollar, $2. I'm like, we're either teaching them the wrong things, or I'm like, I love it. It's great for the business.
That's funny, dude. Man, one of these times I need to make it out there to the Charlotte show, man. We need to film some like live action and have some fun with it, man. It'll be kind of cool.
And there's a couple guys filming things, and they were like stepping back, going, "Wow, this is good. This is good stuff."
Man.
So
And you got to witness it.
yeah,
Um,
I mean, I was impressed, a little bit shocked, a little bit wary of where I should be standing. I tried to get out of the way,
yeah.
but I wanted to see what was happening, and I was impressed.
So
So
you two are the gopher looking up.
I was just impressed with the whole nature of the business. They're paying for parking, they're paying to get in. Um, Dad loves vintage, kid loves Pokemon. Meet me back at this table in 30 minutes. I was like, yes, this
Kind of
is
old school in
exactly
that sense of fathers and sons and
this is
fathers and
exactly what
daughters.
the this is
Yeah,
exactly what the industry needs. Doesn't matter what it is, does it? I mean,
it's time
it's
together, family,
it,
right?
yeah, it's the power of the collection. It's the power of the hobby. So it was pretty cool. I mean, I enjoyed it, and I was shocked to see some things.
Well, I was gonna say the Dallas Card Show's in a couple of weeks over St. Patrick's Day weekend, and I plan on attending that show for
Good
sure.
for you, man.
Oh,
Can you report on
it'll
that?
be yeah, I'll get a report, and again, that'll be family time with my son, and he's already talking
Awesome,
to
dude.
me tonight on the way home. He was like, "Hey, are we gonna still go after these Yogi Berra cards?"
Oh,
So
that's great. You remember that from last year.
yeah. So he
Awesome, dude.
he's asking me, "Hey, let's get our list together and stuff." So, uh, what about so when you're at the show, you're right, you're rifling through those dollar bins. Um, I wanted to talk to you about like focus and the hobby, and you kind of mentioned.
Yeah.
So, how do you stay focused, man?
No, it's a good question because I was with my father-in-law coach. And Coach, our viewers don't know him yet, but he's becoming more he's welcoming being on the show, which would be awesome. Because he's an old school guy. I mean, he started collecting cards in 58. He would pitch him against the wall, and he's got all sorts of stories to tell us about how like you'd have a guy pitch calls cards against the wall, the closest one. You'd hire a guy to go pick him up, give him a quarter. He'd pick up 5 cards for you. I mean, it's like it was old school like way of doing things back in the day. But we were at the show, and I mean, he was determined to kind of like fill in his 1971 high card, 71 Topps baseball high card, 78 football, 79 football, 80 football. And we found a couple of dealers that were not local to Charlotte. And we sat down and we were going through them. And I'm like looking around going, I need some 75 Topps cards for my set that I can upgrade from excellent to near mint to mint. And I was walking around, I'm like looking at them, and I got a little bit distracted. And what happened is I came across this guy.
78, Walter.
I came across 78 Walter
Sweetness.
Payton, which, dude, it is like,
It's a
I don't know if you
beautiful
guys can
card,
see
man.
this.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, the centering is probably 60-40. That's
Mm.
okay, but the corners are crisp. The guy wanted $25 for it. And I was like, okay, I'm focused. Let me stay my path. I'm getting some other cards. Um, I put a bunch of cards together. He goes, how about $10 for that card? I go, $10? I'm on it.
Don't have to
It,
sell it
it
twice, right?
you
Come on,
know
man.
what? I bought three
Take
other cards, and I threw everything else in another pile, and I just took it. So I was actually weak, but I think Coach and I stayed true to his form for what he needed. And I think it takes two people. You have to have your binder, have your numbers, just stay true to what you need because we found some great dealers that were willing to deal with cards. I mean, they may have said $1 each. They could have been 50 cents or $2. They were $1 each, and they were willing to work deals. And I mean, it was great, but it's going back to your point, Kelly. It was difficult to stay on track. I think because when you see a Walter Payton like that, I just jumped all over it, which is
I mean, dude,
which
that
is
is
kind of
a
my fault.
Patrick. That is a beautiful card, and 78 tops is the first set, and still it's near and dear to my heart, and like my favorite football set. I can just look at all 528 cards in a binder and just reminisce.
Is there
For me, it's my
528?
childhood, man.
I didn't know there was 528.
Yeah,
Wow, it's amazing how it has grown from like I think 1970. I think you would agree. It's like 282 cards or something like that, and it goes boom, 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 and just kind of built from there.
263 and 72.
Okay,
Um, No, wait a second. No, wait, I'm forgetting the high numbers, third series in 72. But yeah, 73, 74, 75, 76. I think were like 528 up to 80. And then I think they kind of went a little bit smaller. I think they were like in
Okay.
the threes, 300 some odd in the 80s. And then, dude, by 1993, they were back up to like 660 cards.
Yeah.
1993 Topps football, because that when I was in college getting back into cards, I remember trying to put that set together.
Well, so if you ask me, how easy is it to stay focused when you go to a show? I think a lot of your passion and the hobby comes from like something within, and you can't define it. And sometimes you have a gut thing. Like, remember you and I went to the show in Dallas last year. I walked up to the guy and he had like he had he had an Earl Campbell rookie. I
Hmm.
had no intent. I already have one. I have no intention of buying one. It was like $35. I go, will you take 20? He goes, yes, I will. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I mean, you jump on a near mint to mint Earl Campbell rookie for $20. I do anyways.
Right?
It meant something to me. It was passionate. So that emotion can come in, but I think you stay the course. If you get a couple cards, I'm looking for a 75 tops Jim Rice. I have a almost a near mint to mint set. Mine's very good to excellent because it has the blot. It has the color
Is,
print on it that kind of like blocks out. And it's faded.
is the registration a little bit off? Is that
Yeah,
what?
yes. I mean, the corners are great, but it's got the an ink print that was very that happened with the four players on the card, and I need to replace that. I keep going to card shows trying to replace it, and I get derailed.
Do you
So,
find so when you go to a card show, I mean, do you have like a list written down of what you're looking for, and then you're trying to be specific in that zone of, hey, this is what I'm trying to collect, or is it, hey, I know I'm working on 75 tops baseball, but I'm just gonna see what's out there. Yeah, how do you approach it, man?
yeah, yeah, Kelly. So for me, I have like 5 to 10 cards in my head, and I know I need them. I don't necessarily have them written down. I should put them on my phone on notes to remember to keep me on track. But if I see something that I know that I like, I'm more prone to jumping on a good opportunity. So I'm probably not the perfect person for putting together sets because if I see somebody who has a card and they're willing to part with it for half the price of what I think it's worth, I'll probably jump on it. So I'm kind of an opportunist on that, but I need to stay on track. So I mean, I know I think you're very like well versed in like staying on track with your 72 and the sets that you're doing, the older sets. But sometimes I jump around. it's
Well,
it's
for me, yeah, I mean, there's specific sets that I put it notes in my phone, and then I carry a spiral, and I write things down,
right. Yep.
circle, and cross things out, and um,
I,
you know,
I, I
about
think dealers respect. I think dealers respect the spiral. To be honest, it's a physical thing. I
some
think you
old
look at
school.
it and go, okay, this guy seems focused, and you got a bunch of cards. He's like, I'll work a deal with him. You
The
know, I guess I like this guy. He's focused.
that's good. If they like you, usually you can get a good deal
Yeah.
time. Um, but with like newer collectors, I had already mentioned like I bought like the 2023 Bowman. Like I bought a blaster box, and it's like, do I try to put a set together? And you know, if you're gonna try to stay focused and you're trying to work on sets, do you think like newer collectors with new cards are trying to put sets together, or they try to put together like team sets? Are they player collectors, you think? Or
Yeah, I have an opinion on this, Kelly. I'm glad you mentioned that because I think that the younger collectors will buy maybe a couple hobby boxes for $200 a pop, or I don't know how much they are, but and
yeah.
maybe they'll get 300 cards, 250 cards. I think they'll take a couple of the inserts out, and I think they lose focus. I think they're going to try to recoup their money on something by getting it graded rather than just go through to get the whole set. That's my personal opinion.
Well, certainly, viewers of the show, let us know what you're doing.
Yeah,
If you're collecting,
prove me
how
wrong.
do you stay focused and how do you collect? And because
Yeah,
yeah, I'm definitely an old school kind of. I believe in sets and player runs. I'm not really a big team collector. I'm not. Hey, let me go get Dallas
I
Cowboys
agree with you. I'm
74,
not either.
75. But I do like Roger Staubach. I do like Tony Dorsett. These are my childhood heroes. In college it was Troy Aikman, Emmett Smith, Michael Irvin. You got your triplets going on. You know, uh, you had Drew Pearson with Roger, and some of the other guys. So those are the guys that I identify with. I'm like, these are the guys I want to collect. They mean a lot to me. And if you don't have that connection, it's hard to stay focused.
Yeah.
Like you said, man, oh, this is a good deal. That's a great deal. This is a good deal. But then what do
Well,
you have at the end of the day with your collection?
Kelly, remember back in the day, I'd buy 86 Donruss wax boxes for $12. Okay, think about that. Now, this is back in 86, $12 a box. I get two or three Consecas. Imagine if you paid $300 for that box now and you got maybe one Conseco or one good player and a couple other maybe inserts, but that's it. No autograph. And you bought another one for $300. At some point, you're like, okay, well, I mean, that's $600 you already invested. Are you really going to go after the set and build a set? I think it's just risk reward. It's like boom, boom, boom. Okay.
And budget.
I
I mean, if you're not focused, your budget's shot. And what do you have to show for it, man? And this should be a hobby that educates each other. But what you see value, pardon me, what you see value in, what I see value in, any other collector, that's individual. But
I think it's
you don't
always
want to
been
feel
that
like you
way.
wasted your money either.
But I think it's
Normal
changed.
feeling.
I think it's changed, Kelly, because that's exactly how the hobby was developed. Oh, I love this guy. I'll trade you this guy for this guy. I'm a Yankee guy. Sweet. I'm an Astros guy. Great. Let's trade.
Hmm.
And now you have such a high premium for the card and the box that you buy. I think you do it one time, you do it twice. You're not going to be doing three times. Yeah, I think you're gonna sell one autograph for $250, get your money back, still lose 200, and maybe just get rid of your cards. I mean, there's a different way of looking at it, I think now. Um, and I could be wrong. Maybe there's some purists out there who buy like three hobby boxes for $1,000 and go, "I'm going to put together a set."
Well,
But
that's
when
what
they
I'm curious
realize the
about with
set's only worth
the
200
top,
bucks,
the top Series One baseball set. I'm sure you can pick up a complete set now for like probably $40.
okay. I was going to ask you, do you have any value on that? Because I have no idea what to
Yeah,
expect for
yeah.
that.
And remember, I think the first series is like 350 cards.
Yes, that's right.
So,
That's right.
so yeah, you can get that for at least about $40, off of various sites. So, are you going to spend, let's just say $80 total to have the complete base set versus, hey, I'm trying to trade, trying to buy boxes, and it's
Yeah.
interesting. I wanted to learn more from different viewers of the show and different fans of the CardBlitz page that we have on Facebook. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to some feedback.
No, it's a good topic. I think it's a great topic because obviously the industry has changed. The way they market it to different collectors has changed. Obviously, the dealers have a. I mean, I talked to a dealer at the card show in Charlotte this past week, and I'm like, "Hey, do you have any like new football cards?" He goes, those don't come out until after the draft." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't realize that." He goes, "Yeah, I mean, there's a couple boxes that come out pre-draft that have anticipated rookies, but you should probably wait for Topps Chrome and Panini Prism to come out, and those are the big cards." I'm like, I had no idea. I
Right.
didn't know there was a timetable. I thought they just came out at different, like back in the day when football was done, cards would come out because it would so energize the football belief.
Hmm.
But I was off, so I got an education on that. And this guy's a master dealer. He goes, I'm one of the few dealers in the southeast that can get this box for this amount. If you want Topps Chrome, it probably costs you $20 a pack. I go, whoa, it's not even out yet. I go, are you kidding me?
Uh,
I was
Drop
shocked.
Trunk just came out like a week ago, but you
But
were at the show
but
right after the release.
only the master dealers have it. You can't. I couldn't get it at the show at all. Period.
Oh wow. Um,
So
we're kind of running low on time as usual. Once again, the episode's flying.
yeah, man,
We need to
it's
kind of
it's
wrap
it's
up a few
interesting,
things,
man.
man.
Yeah.
Let me throw this out there. Card Blitz page is on Facebook.
Yep.
So please sign up, interact with Patrick, me, and the
Yeah,
other
you guys, come
members
on.
on that page.
Don't
Uh,
be shy.
yeah, definitely join us on Facebook at CardBlitz. If you have any questions, comments, you can always reach out via email at info@blitzweekly.com. And you can find us on Twitter at blitzweekly as well as Instagram. Um, well, Patrick, like I said, man, we got just a couple of minutes left. How do you want to wrap up?
You want to stump me on something?
I can. I got to look it up real quick. All right, here
Yeah,
we
but
go,
look it up.
man. You're talking football because, you know, oh,
You,
when you get to
you,
be 30 years old, you forget some things.
let's have a segue. So next week, Kelly, what I mean, like you want to? I mean, I think so. The draft happens in April. So apparently, some of our new like the new packs of football cards not going to happen until I guess April May.
Probably
Is what
after
I
the
was told.
draft. Yeah. Because these the draft picks they've got to get find teams to have cards made. So
Yeah,
that we'll be talking about that once we learn the newest products and when they hit probably what July, August, probably early August, I'd imagine. But yeah, no, we got to talk maybe more spring training baseball. We got March Madness. You got these conference titles going on in
March
basketball.
Madness, baby. That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. Let me get to the stump question.
Okay,
All right, NFL related.
I'm gonna
Who
focus.
is the NFL's career interception leader with 81? You have four choices: Ron Woodson, Ed Reed, Paul Krause, Ronnie Lott.
Ed Reed.
You are 24.9% of America wrong.
No,
Paul Krause of the
what?
Minnesota Vikings, I believe.
Really?
Back in the day, he has
Oh,
81 NFL career interceptions.
so he was a Bud Grant guy. He must have been the '70s.
Part of the Purple People Eaters, I believe.
Yes.
So
So, but can you imagine playing cornerback or defensive back for a team like that, where the front line was sacking the
Alan
quarterback
Page was there, and yeah, dude,
every second or third play, and the ball just be up in the air?
just chucking it. Well, on that note, definitely got to call it a show. We got to go. Thank y'all.
Kelly, you got me. I mean, Paul Krause. Wow, I'm going to go to bed thinking about Paul Krause.
Well, have a good night, y'all. Card Blitz fans, we'll catch you later.
Yeah, we can't wait till next week. See you guys.
See ya.
Take care.